Don't forget to push that subscribe button, guys, and get notifications when I upload some new breaking news. So right now, we're still covering the Maleah Davis story. This is a very devastating story. She is still missing, and the window is closing, and it's closing rapidly. I'm going to give you a quick update. If you don't know the story, I have videos that I've uploaded if you want to go back and check those out. Maleah is a 4-year-old girl from Texas, the Sugarland area, and her mother is Britney Bowers. Her stepdad is Darian Vence. Now, according to her stepfather, they were all in their car headed toward George Bush Airport at 9 p.m. May 3rd to go meet the child's mother when she returned from Massachusetts. But on their way to the airport, he heard a popping noise. He thought his tire popped, so he pulled over on the side of the road. And when he did, a blue truck, he said, pulls up behind them. 2 or 3 Hispanic guys get out the truck, walk over to him and said that, the girl looks nice, she looks sweet. And the next thing he remembers, he's fading in and out of consciousness, and him, his daughter, and his son are in the back of the blue truck riding around town for about 20 hours. He says he does not come to until about 20 hours later, and I'll cover this story in more detail later on. And him and his son are on the side of the road, his 1-year-old son, and his daughter is missing. He walks to the hospital, gets treatment, and reports his daughter missing. And a lot of people are thinking this story doesn't sound right. And I guess right now we're dealing with Maleah Davis's father. He is speaking out. Her mother started speaking out a few days ago. Now we're hearing from the father. So Craig Davis is the biological father of Maleah Davis, and he has some stuff to say. Mr. Davis says, he was saying on Tuesday, when he spoke for the first time since his daughter's disappearance over the weekend, Craig Davis told ABC 13 Eyewitness News that he hasn't gone public because he's unsure of how he would react while the child was still missing. He also says that he really wants to speak to the stepdad. He wants to find out more, in person from his mouth about what happened when the girl disappeared. And you can't blame a father for wanting to do that. So Mr. Davis says, I haven't spoken to the public because I can't talk about my daughter. I can't control my emotions. I can't protect myself. I break down and I cry, he said. And again, they say, beyond eagerly waiting for the fate of his child, Davis expressed his desire to speak with the girl's stepfather, Darian Vence, who told authorities that he had been jumped on the side of the road Friday night on his way to the Bush Intercontinental Airport to pick up Maleah's mother. And can you blame the father for wanting to talk to the stepfather directly? I would have thought that he would have probably already had that chance to do so. If you were the parent of this child, would you have already talked to the step-parent that was involved with this case? And I had to say most likely yes. So I'm thinking there's more going on as to why he's not able to talk to the stepfather. I think it's more than crying. I think there's anger going on, and you can't blame him. Especially after listening to the story But this story could be real. We have no proof right now whether the story is true or false. And that's the problem, is what you don't know. There's a lot that we don't know. There's so many blanks in this story that you can't even choose a side. You can, guess, you can have theories, you can speculate, but the truth of the matter of this story is we have no clue, the truth of it. One thing's for certain is the father should have the right to speak to the stepfather, at least with maybe a cop present. And there's a lot more going on with the story, this little girl's life, in her life, and there's questionable things going on. And as we all know, if you have kids, kids get bumps, they get bruises, they get scratches, but there's an instance with this family that I want to go over once more. Okay, guys, there's a lot going on in this story, and I took this story on early where I got a lot of the information probably isn't correct. It always is like that at the beginning of a story. And as we go on, it corrects itself. And one of those things is Britney's mother, her quote and how she reacted, to Vence's story. So Britney Bowens, that's her true last name, not Bowers, Bowens, said that the stepfather's story doesn't make sense to her, whereas other stories say that she really didn't think that he was capable of doing anything to her daughter. She basically trusted him with everything. But here we're hearing she's saying the story doesn't make sense. Bowens also addressed Maleah's head injury. Now, there are several different stories as to how the head injury happened at first when the news come out. And that's to be expected because people are hearing hearsay. They're scrambling to find the truth. And it always happens with every story. So the latest that we know right now is Bowens, she addressed the head injury and according to the Houston Police Sergeant Mark, he said that Maleah had multiple brain surgeries, which we knew. And according to some things, she had one recently, just last month. So Bowens on Tuesday disputed allegations that her daughter was physically abused at their home. She decided that she would give her account of how the injury come about. So according to a CNN article, Bowens, the mother of the child, says she took her daughter to the West Houston Medical Center last July. And this is because she was lethargic, but she says that nurses didn't examine her head. Makes sense. I mean, most people today, when they go to the emergency room, the insurance pays them more money than the patients, and they make all the calls, and they don't do tests like they're supposed to. Anyways, so weeks later, and it's July 28th, Maleah fell while she was sitting at the table eating by herself, according to what her mother says. And when she falls, she came around the couch, I guess where she was sitting, and she had a deep gash in her head. And the mom said that it freaked her out. Her mom says that she then rushed her daughter to the West Houston hospital, where doctors discharged Maleah without performing a CT scan. Imagine that, guys. Man, the medical world these days, save money. The insurance runs everybody. That's something we need to be looking into, guys. Pay attention to that. So 5 days later, in early August, Maleah suffered a seizure. So, and the mom's telling this story and she's crying. Maleah was taken to the children's hospital. The mom says they did a CT scan, and they told her that there was bleeding on the left-hand side of her brain. Britney says, quote, "At that point, it was life or death situation," end quote. So doctors operated on Maleah, the mom says, and a few days later, officials with the Child Protective Services arrived at her home. Quote, "They didn't find anything because we're not those kinds of people," end quote, she said. But that month, Child Protective Services placed Maleah and her two brothers with relatives, an arrangement that continued until the judge ordered them to return home, which was in February. So you have a mom here that says, you know, this is not what happened to her. Is the mom telling you the truth? Is this a medical neglect, which is something that has happened every single day? In fact, I'm gonna let you guys know a true fact. So medical malpractice is the #1 killer in the United States of America. You guys need to know that. So I'm not saying that these people are innocent because I don't know them. I don't know the situation. But I do know this is an opportunity to point out how bad our medical system is. It's awful. Insurance is running the say-so at the hospitals, which is costing people's lives on a daily basis. You know, it ends up costing them more money for when they're trying to save money. So this mother is dealing with medical malpractice. She's dealing with neglect from the hospital. Her child is injured. She's saying that, you know, I'm innocent here. My child is in danger. She's not been helped because now the brain injuries are a topic because her daughter's missing. So they're trying to figure out, is she abusive to her daughter, or is it the stepfather that now that the child's missing, there's a possibility it could be him? Is his story a lie? And this is what a lot of people are talking about. And you know, it's okay to speculate and stuff like that, but you need to do it lightly. You need to be open to facts. Facts need to lead the majority of where you think and how you think. You need to learn that, whether you feel very strongly he might have done it, because a lot of people believe that the stepdad story just does not equal up. It doesn't make sense. And one of the main factors is this: when they dropped Vence and his son off on the side of the road 20 hours later, how in the world did he suddenly come to and his son was still there, you know, by his side? This is a 1-year-old. You know, a lot of people believe that the 1-year-old would have wandered off. It just doesn't make sense. And that's what they're fighting with themselves on that one. What do you guys think? I mean, share it in the comments below. Hopefully, the most important thing in this story is I try to give something to talk about, so that way you guys share it. I try to find something to talk about, because otherwise, if it's boring, people just overlook it. The girl still has a chance to be alive somewhere. So share this video, share her face, share her story. Get it out there, guys. Okay, so we do have some new information coming in. So where is this investigation into the whereabouts of this 4-year-old leading to? So what we're finding out is the police are actually looking back at the stepfather. And what they have said is normally they don't point out the persons of interest or suspects until charges are filed, normally. In the picture that you see of the stepfather, This was to try to help identify or help the case. Maybe you had seen him somewhere because he was being driven all over the town, according to Vince. Maybe you guys can fill in the blanks that they're looking for. But now they're switching it from a victim to a possible person of interest. I need to be careful how I word this. So, of course, he was going to be a person of interest. I mean, they always are. If it happens to you, you might as well just know you are going to be a person of interest immediately if you are a parent. It's just the majority of cases, it's never a stranger. Yep. And but the thing at the beginning, I mean, I seen where the mother of Maleah was kind of defending him, and now I'm seeing where she's kind of saying, well, his story doesn't seem to fit. So this family is being torn apart during this process. The thing is we don't know the truth. We don't know what's really going on, but hopefully soon we will find out something. So I did hear a rumor, and this was shared by a girl that goes out there and searches for Andreen McDonald on a regular basis. And she actually seen where police or undercover cars were at a landfill, and they were searching, the dump in that area. Nobody, has official idea of who they were searching for or what, but they did see, undercover cars, unmarked cars. Sorry about that. And they were had the landfill closed off, blocked off. So maybe they've gotten some tips. If I can find out more about that, I'll let you know. But for now, that's all I have for you guys. As for me, I really have no idea what happened with this case. I would like to believe the stepfather, but I really don't, and it doesn't make sense to me. But then again, I'm not certain. I don't have a speculation that I feel is solid either. Okay, so I found a few things online. This one they've watermarked. I don't know who posted it. It was on one of the threads that are talking about the case, so I don't know how accurate this is. But people are talking about this case, and the majority of them really do not believe, the stepfather. So I don't know. But I do want to wish them blessings. Let's send some blessings out to these guys, because this case is tearing them apart. We all know, especially media involved, is really going to put a hurting on them. So hopefully they find answers quickly. Sending you blessing, guys. Thanks for EquiSearch out there. I always mention them. Make sure you put donations. Send some money to those people. They really have heart, and they work hard out there. Don't forget to check out the bloopers at the end as to why I have trouble recording on here sometimes. All right, blessings, guys. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Okay, guys, I'm having trouble recording because between him knocking on my door, look at him. He thinks he's a boss, and then my puppy chasing him and barking. I'm having a recording between these two. Look at that guilt face. She knows. Are you in trouble, booby? And then you have him. He knows I'm talking about him too. No, he's not going to do it now, is he?